Mayor Lloyd Winnicke, City Council President Missy Mosby, and City Council Vice President Jonathan Weaver. Are there any other elected officials that I can't see because I can't see that far? Have I missed any elected officials? All right, I also want to acknowledge any county officials that are here, any county elected officials? Okay. And then I want the members of the Evansville Redevelopment Commission to stand and be recognized. I see Stan Wheeler, Jennifer Ravely. We have Commission President Randy Alsman. Are there any other Redevelopment Commission members here in the room that I've missed? Dave Clark is a member of the Redevelopment Commission, and Mike Schottmeyer is a member of the commission. So we want to thank them for their due diligence and their efforts at bringing this master plan. The steering committee, if you were a member of the steering committee of the master plan, would you please stand and be recognized? Some are standing in the back, I know. This was a very long process, and in that process, the steering committee met numerous times, and we hosted several public events. We had over 1,500 people give us ideas and concepts and suggestions and express their love for downtown Evansville. So I'm going to turn this over to Mayor Winnicke to welcome everyone here and talk a little bit about a vital downtown.
Thank you, Kelly. Well, so the third largest city in the state of Indiana decided to update its master plan, and they decided to roll it out on a Monday afternoon at 4:30, and 150 people showed up. That's impressive. Thank you very much for being here. My job is to talk about the importance of a strong downtown, but given the attendance today, I think I'd be preaching to the choir. So let me just tell you this, and I think you know this intuitively, but vibrant cities have vibrant urban cores. And that's what this is all about. The fact that we've had 1,500 people participate in this process tells me that people are jazzed about downtown Evansville. And when downtown Evansville succeeds, the entire city succeeds. There are ripple effects that go through all corners of our city when our downtown is as vibrant as I know as it is, and as I know it is going to be in the future. So thank you for being here. If you participate in the process, thank you. Let me extend a special thank you to our consultant, Puma, and to Josh Armstrong of the Downtown Coalition of the Chamber. Josh has really quarterbacked this through DMD and the ERC and has done a phenomenal job. So thank you for being here today, and let's get on with it, Kelly.
Thank you, Mayor. We have another elected official who's joined us. City Council at Large, Michelle Mercer, has joined us in the room. So 2 years ago, when the mayor appointed me as director of DMD, he asked me to compile a short list of things that I saw as immediate needs in the city. And the very first thing that I said to him was that we needed to update our downtown master plan. The master plan that we've been operating under was from 2001. And if you have a cell phone from 2001 and you compare it to an iPhone today, you can tell the difference in technology and progress. And a lot of the development that happened in the ensuing years after 2001 happened completely outside that 2001 master plan. Vectren moved its headquarters to the riverfront. Old National Bank moved to the riverfront. The Ford Center was built. All of these things happened outside of what that master plan intended. So I told the mayor 2 years ago with the projects that were looming on the horizon, with the convention hotel, the IU Med School, all the things that we need to do downtown, that it was time to update the plan. And his answer was, if you can find the money, let's do it. So we found the money, and we engaged the Redevelopment Commission in an effort. We had 7 applicants, companies, consulting companies. We boiled it down to 3. Some of my staff, myself, Josh Armstrong, and we boiled it down to 3 that we made recommendations to the ERC. We had some public meetings where we vetted the consultants. and the ERC chose Progressive Urban Management Associates, and we are so glad they did because we think they've done an outstanding job. So I'm going to introduce Randy Alsman, who is president of the Redevelopment Commission. We enjoy working with Randy so much, and he's been an integral part of the steering committee of this process. Randy?
Hiding behind you. See if I'm as smart as this microphone. Can you hear me in the back? No one said, oh, we got a thumbs up. Okay, that's great. Well, as the mayor and Ms. Kelly said, we were long overdue to update our plan for all the reasons that you heard, but also because the city has a finite tax base. I mean, there's not an unlimited amount of tax money that's available to be able to make the city move. So we wanted to have a plan that would guide us in making decisions and prioritizing for the efforts of the city and the private sector that would move us ahead most rapidly, most efficiently. We felt that that master plan was a key element to get us there. There are several elements that are necessary for there to be economic growth. One of those, believe it or not, is inflation. One of those is productivity, getting more with the same amount of input so that you're ever advancing the quality of life. But another one that's very important is the growth in the working age population. If you go to Japan, if you go to Europe, where the working age population is declining and you see what's happening to their moribund economic growth, you know how important that is. So one of the key elements of this plan, one of the key objectives, is to attract and retain young people in this community. We want it to be a great place to do business no matter what age you are. We want it to be a place you enjoy, no matter what your pastimes or your demographic group or any of those things. But attracting and retaining young people is key to the future growth of this area. So there's a lot in this plan that was built on input from, the desires stated by, and the interests of the millennial generation and others. I hope you'll see some of that in here, and I hope you'll find out that even boomers like me enjoy some of those things too. We did select Progressive Urban Management Associates, as Kelly said, and one of the primary reasons why we chose that firm, we had several good proposals, several great ideas, but Progressive Urban Management said, you know what, we focus not just on the plan, we focus on the implementation of the plan after we're gone. We look for funding sources, both existing sources that can be expanded, new sources that we're not using today. We also develop an action plan, an implementation plan that will guide you on the first steps for quick wins and for further progress down the road. Most importantly, they also identify in the city itself people, individuals, organizations that are key, vital to implementing the plan and making it successful, getting them informed, getting them up and running and involved. And so when they leave town, we have people here ready to pick up the reins and march ahead. So we were very pleased to see that's exactly what they did in this plan. You'll see lots of great ideas up here. I hope you get a chance to look at them more closely. But what's even more important, you can't see except in the numbers in this room. And that is the excitement and the support and the engagement and the involvement that has been building around this plan as it's been developed. The buy-in of the people in the community and the willingness to volunteer, to engage, how can I help? I'd love for everyone in here to be so excited that after today's presentation, you say, gee, how can I get involved? How can I help? Many, many people have done that before you. Many more will after you, I hope. We're really excited about where that goes. The last couple of things I want to say about the plan is we had three key criteria, three key objectives that we gave Progressive Urban Management. They're all expressed in a single word. One is we wanted it to be inspiring. We wanted this to be a plan that when you looked at it, you said, wow, that's great. I want to live here whenever this plan is implemented. This is exciting stuff. I think it looks like fun. I think it looks like a place I could do business, a place I could find customers for my business, a place I could take my children. I think you would be inspired by what you're going to see up here today. We wanted it to inspire action and energy and excitement. The second thing is it needed to be effective. One of the key elements, the key objectives of this plan is creating economic growth, affordable and sustainable economic growth, realistic economic growth, and that was the third criteria, which is achievable. We needed to have plans that were inspiring and effective, but they needed to be plans that we could get done. We didn't want to have a plan that was fantastic and beautiful, but was out of our reach. So we did not come up with a plan. Progressive Urban Management and everyone in the Department of Metropolitan Development and the Bureau of the Chamber of Commerce and others that got involved, Evansville Voice, we didn't develop a plan that has this hope diamond of a feature. This thing that is just gorgeous, but it is not attainable and it's not affordable. Instead, what you'll see are a string of pearls. These are a string of pearls that the city can wear every day, and it will be a attractive and beautiful to all of us, but will also be functional and achievable and realistic. So hopefully you'll see this string of pearls up here today, and one that you will get excited about. And that means it's something we can do, it's a plan that can be achieved, it's realistic, and it will build incrementally to a future that I don't think anyone can envision completely today, but you all can feel the spirit of it here today. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Lynn Miller-Pease from Evansville Voice. They had a key role in providing input into this plan through all the citizens engaged in that process.
You know that what we really wanted to do was get people to envision the future, find out ways to use their gifts and talents to serve a leadership and transform the community. So partnering with Boyd Winnicky and the city, we did this.
Can't hear. The microphone is quit.
You all just missed the most incredible words. I think it's on purpose. I'm not going to yell into it. Okay, so Evansville Voice, Leadership Evansville, for 20 years we've been doing visioning, and then we partnered with the mayor, Boyd Winnicky, and we did this visioning on steroids. I mean, thousands and thousands of people got together and got an opportunity to be involved. What is so exciting to me is that what I've seen over the last several years is people's ability to see that things really can happen and will. They believe that Evansville is not only getting better, but that we deserve the best that there is. And the other thing I love about the Downtown Master Plan is it's what we would call a voice hat trick. So 5,000 people said they wanted city core healthy and vibrant. They said they wanted it connected with green space and complete streets. And they said that they wanted experiences. So something like this, what this does in my mind is it takes people's dreams and it pops it up into reality, into pictures, and gives it a plan and makes it really possible to do, not in 15 or 20 years, but 3 to 5 years. And I'll tell you what, if you are not excited about the city of Evansville and this region right now, I don't know where the hell you've been. Because, I mean, people are on fire. They can't wait to get involved. And the only thing that would keep us from doing this is people deciding not to get engaged, and that's not what I'm reading. And I'm seeing not only people that are in positional leadership, but I see kids in schools, people on the street, every different economic level, every different color skin, every different religion. This is not just for a few, it's for everyone. And so this is the most exciting way to say, yes, everything that we thought we could do and that we hoped for, we now have an opportunity to do it. So, what we say in Voice is, we don't quit. If we run into problems, we figure out how to solve them. And I'm looking around, I can't imagine that there isn't anything here that we can't do, and the next few things we thought about too, if we put our minds to it. So get ready, because this is going to be very, very exciting. Now, I think at this time, am I turning it over to Josh? All right, Josh has been absolutely amazing. I don't even know if he sleeps anymore. He has worked so hard. He and Jeff and a group of people have worked so hard to make this happen. We really need to thank him.
Thank you, Lynn. I'm Josh Armstrong, and I am Director of the Downtown Alliance for the Southwest Indiana Chamber. I want to make my appreciation known for a few people. Progressive Urban Management Associates, Brad Siegel and Anna Jones, have been great. Our friends in Indianapolis from Rundell, Ernstberger, Kevin Osborne, not Osborne, Osborne, Eric Ernstberger, Pete, have been wonderful. And right down the street at Hayford Design, Jeff Justice and crew, especially Allie Rabin, has really been responsible for the look of the document. The document is now available online. You can get it at the city's website under Spotlight, and it's also on the homepage or the landing page of
the Southwest Indiana Chamber, so that's evansville.in.gov or swinchamber.com, and you can get the whole plan. I'm going to cover sort of the financial piece of this. As a part of the plan, a market study was executed, and there's a couple things that we need to know about downtown. First, we're a very, very strong market for residential rentals, condominium developments for all budgets, and we have a strong need for continued residential development from low to moderate income, market rate, and including some luxury units. The conversion of one or two of our large Class B or Class C office buildings could provide both housing options while raising our office occupancy rates, driving further investment in offices. We have a strong opportunity for dining, coffee, night spot development, bars, clubs, etc., and some capacity for specialty retailer and neighborhood serving retail like a drugstore, liquor store, convenience store. It also seems that we have a capacity for a small boutique hotel in addition to the new convention hotel, the DoubleTree by Hilton. Downtown continues to drive the regional economy and tax collection in a way that suburban development cannot. The assessed value per acre downtown is 1.356 million acres, and that's 6.12 times more than the entire city. So if you're looking to make an investment that's going to pay back the entire community, downtown is where to do it. Downtown's 781 businesses employ almost 12,000 people, and our payroll per acre is 30 times greater than the payroll per acre for the county of Vanderburgh. In the past 2 years, 40 businesses have opened or moved into the downtown area, 11 have expanded their services or offerings, and 9 have announced their imminent opening, including the DoubleTree by Hilton Convention Hotel, the Indiana University School of Medicine, Evansville, and Evansville Multi-Institutional Academic Health Science Education and Research Campus, say that 3 times fast, and Brew Burger Bar, which will be moving into here later this summer. Their plans were just recently submitted to the state for approval, so we are looking forward to them. These great numbers are just the beginning of what we could do here in Evansville. I'd like to introduce Brad Siegel, who's president and principal of Puma, and he's going to share a plan on how we can move forward. So, Brad Siegel from Puma.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Is that speaker working? Worked for me. There we go. Anyway, thank you, and thank you all for being here to see, gosh, I don't know how many people are in this place. Maybe a couple hundred people come out for a plan unveiling is really unprecedented in our work. For some of you in the back, there's plenty of space along this wall if y'all want to come up and hang out along the wall, or not. It's up to you. What I'm going to do and what my colleagues are going to do is give you some of the highlights of the plan. We're also going to introduce you to some of your neighbors in Evansville that are actually stepping forward, and they actually want to champion some of these ideas. So we're going to give you a sense of what's inside and then also how we can get all this stuff done. So everyone can follow along. You should have one of these community handbooks for city building that we passed out. In the back, if you don't have one yet, please just share with a friend or a new friend. And again, we're just going to walk you through some of the highlights of this. Josh talked about market opportunities. We did put together a complete market assessment. The market assessment and the complete plan, it's about 40, 50 pages. That is what is available on the websites. So Josh mentioned on the city website, on the chamber website, the entire plan and all the supporting information, including the market assessment, are there. Community outreach, we heard about 1,500 voices in this process. How many of you either came to an open house or filled out a survey or came to a round table? Or, okay, most of everybody in this room. Give yourselves a hand, please, for that involvement. it really was extraordinary to see how many people got involved in this process. So between the market and what we heard from folks, we go to page 3 of your handout into core values. And what these core values are, this is what this is what this plan is trying to achieve, are these core values. So all the different actions, all the different steps, this is what we're going to measure ourselves. We want a downtown that essentially is going to do 4 things. One is going to be activated. So there's always something going on, particularly Main Street and the riverfront. Those were top priorities moving forward. 2, innovative. This is a hub for jobs and innovation. And is downtown the R&D center for the manufacturing and the other elements of the community that Evansville's legacy is really founded on. The third value is connected. So is downtown connected within? Is it connected to adjacent neighborhoods in a variety of ways? Is it easy to get around in terms of walking and in terms of biking? Also mobility and car. This is a little challenging. Also mobility in vehicles as well. Okay, and then lastly, neighborhood. And I think that's where this plan is maybe different from your past plans, is we're looking at the evolution of downtown Evansville, really not so much as a one-dimensional business center, but now as a multi-dimensional neighborhood and a place that people live and thrive. So those are the core values. Kevin, I bet you're thrilled. So now we're going to take you on a tour of some of these concepts in the middle, these 4 transformative ideas. And what the transformative ideas are, is they are 4 sort of big ideas that together are that string of pearls that Randy was talking about earlier. That if we can be successful with these 4 different ideas and really tackle these, we think downtown Evansville could be just an outstanding happening place. The good news of this for you folks is this might expedite today's presentation. So Kevin and Alyssa, where are you guys? Kevin and Alyssa are going to have to yell. Kevin and Alyssa are going to talk a little bit about a thriving Main Street and some of the ideas to try to achieve that.
Yeah. Can everyone hear me back there? So. Okay, well, I'll try to yell as loud as I can here. We're gonna ditch the mic. We're gonna ditch the mic and just keep moving. So the first transformative idea is a thriving Main Street. And we want to try to reactivate and enhance the existing Main Street. So if you turn to the middle of your handout, the center fold, you'll see the graphics for the 4 transformative ideas. So as I mentioned, Main Street is at the core of downtown. We want it to be more active and more vital with additional retail, additional shops and restaurants, and that the park, which you see in the upper left-hand corner of your handout, would be at 4th and Main. That park will serve as an anchor for an activated Main Street. It will bring life and activity to the downtown core, and it will host a rich mixture of programmed activities within that new public space. As the center of the downtown entertainment district, the park will feature an outdoor performance space with other amenities such as urban swings, seating platforms, shaded seating areas, a water wall, and just a wide variety of movable furnishings, just a wide variety of amenities that help attract people to 4th Street and 4th and Main Street, but also allow people to stay there, encourage people to stay there for a longer period of time and spend some time downtown. It'll be connected to the other amenities, as Randy mentioned earlier, the string of pearls that we're talking about. It'll be connected via a cycle track, so our complete street conversion on 4th Street that would connect the new medical center. I think I hear a mic. It might be working.
Thanks, News 44, for some batteries. Okay, is that better?
Yeah. Great, great. So it'll be connected with the cycle track on 4th Street. It'll be connected from the new medical campus to some of the other spaces that we're about to talk about. So I want to introduce Alyssa Frick. Where's Alyssa? There she is, right behind me, to talk a little bit more about downtown neighborhood.
I'm president of the Downtown Neighborhood Association, and I live and own a business on Main Street. I've been pleased to be a part of this process along with other business owners and residents of downtown Evansville. If you're interested in getting involved in the Downtown Neighborhood Association, our next meeting is Tuesday, May 10th at 6:30 p.m. in Innovation Point on Main Street. So please join us and learn more about what's going on for the residents downtown and your opportunity to potentially live downtown. I do have a quick win to announce. Simplified liquor licensing procedures. Due to a change in state law, riverfront liquor licenses are now available throughout all of downtown. Previously, this type of license ended at about 4th Street. And I asked Josh why he chose me to announce this portion. But in all honesty, I am very excited, with the thought of both more restaurants and more bars downtown within walkable distance. There's no quota to these licenses, meaning no limit on the number that can be issued. The reduced costs that these licenses allow startup restaurants and night spots to save between $40,000 and $50,000 over purchasing an active county license. So I'm excited about the opportunity and cost savings for these businesses, and potentially maybe some of you folks in this room today that may be interested in opening a business. So please join me in supporting our local downtown restaurants and businesses. Thank you.
Okay, our next transformative idea is to create an active riverfront. And again, there's an image of this in your fold out. We have 3 images and 3 boards up here in front. When you get a chance later to stop by and look, that would be great. The idea is to create an active riverfront that is much more pedestrian and bicycle friendly, encourages people to stay and recreate along the riverfront with wider spaces and upgraded amenities along the greenway and promenade side of the river, and then including a wide variety of amenities that make that an attractive recreation destination. And then on the city side of Riverside, we would encourage mixed-use development and help activate this side of the street as well. Riverside Drive would become a traffic-calmed avenue for a 5-block section from Court Street to Walnut Street. So we're really focusing our efforts on this key section that engages with downtown, and we would make Riverside Drive, we would still keep it 4 lanes, but we would take the median out of Riverside and add that space back to the street, to the city side, where we could use that additional space to create wider sidewalks, street side cafes, and other types of amenities that help activate that side of the street. And then we would then also have more space to create green space and other amenities along the riverfront, which you really don't have now. So the idea, again, is to create an activated, vibrant riverfront that would be flanked at each end with pavilions at Walnut and a pavilion at Vine, And then in between, we would cantilever that promenade out just a bit further to create a much wider and engaging riverfront space. So I want to introduce Jessica Will. Where's Jessica? Who's going to come up and talk about our next transformative idea.
Hello, I'm Jessica Will, and I make marketing and brand collateral. Lately, I'm also trying to make a difference by working on transformative idea number 3, the NoCo Makers District. Makers districts are areas that attract eclectic types of makers and the people who are inspired by being around them. Imagine an art gallery next to a brewery, next to a tech startup, next to unique housing options, all connected spatially and socially. NoCo means north of Court Street, encompassing what is largely surface parking and warehouses, and continues to the other side of the Lloyd. This includes the newly redeveloped Sterling Brewery Complex, higher in the restored Coca-Cola bottling building, and the recently expanded Williard Library. NoCo already contains a few makers. Haier develops appliances for North America as a division of the world's largest appliance manufacturer. Miller Made Collective, owned by brothers Kyle and Corey Miller, makes commercial and residential lighting fixtures and art installations. Mystic Hand Letterpress, owned by Cassandra Lane, makes custom stationery and branding materials on a 40-year-old letterpress. Pretty cool. The district will use branding, potential regulatory relief, and other possible incentives to encourage developers to create the types of housing and workspaces that appeal to a variety of entrepreneurs and businesses. I've been asked to talk for a moment about why I volunteered to help with the NoCo project. And you'll have to look back about a year. My husband and I were both born in 1986, which makes us multitasking, work-life balance-seeking, collaborative, go-getter millennials. It also means that we are very concerned about the opportunities and experiences available to us where we live. So for the past year, we've been weighing the pros and cons of building our life in Evansville versus building our life in a bigger city. We have spreadsheets, we have flow charts, we have a chalkboard in our office, and we have all the possibilities written out. It's an ongoing conversation. When I learned about the prospect of the Makers District in downtown Evansville, I knew this was my chance to help tip it in favor of us planting our roots here in Evansville. So my dog Olive and I hit the streets of the NoCo district looking for inspiration and potential, and we found it. I pulled together photos of key areas of the district with potential for community space and/or art installations. I also began piecing together a branding campaign that highlighted the potential future diverse business portfolio for that area. This is something that could make a profound impact on what Evansville has to offer our generation, and I absolutely stand behind it, and I hope you will too. I also have a quick win to announce. A request for proposal for the gateway parcel between 3rd and 4th, just south of the Lloyd, will be presented soon to the Redevelopment Commission. After approval, this parcel will be available for creative mixed-use development. That's 60,000 square feet, ready to be a live-work space, brew pub with apartments above, or another unique multi-use development. So that's a big win for us.
So our final transformative idea is public space improvements that will attract people and private development. Moving through and around downtown by foot or bike should be safe, easy, and fun. Upgraded key streets and street corridors with an amenity infrastructure using a complete streets approach can make this happen. Green space and other improvements will draw developments and activity. So an example of this idea is, again, on your center spreadsheet, and what we, in the graphic that we prepared for Post Office Park. So that's, you see the board here, but more importantly, you're in Post Office Park right now. If you look out your windows here, you're really at the heart of what we're proposing to be a new 2-block mixed-use development and green space project. So it would run from 2nd Street to 4th Street and from Sycamore to Vine, and it would all be centered on your wonderful historic post office building. This development would include mixed-use, so residential apartments above ground floor retail that are all centered on a 2-block long public green space that would stretch from 2nd to 4th Street and would provide a setting for major city festivals and major events, as well as just nighttime and daytime and nighttime dining and outdoor retail opportunities. This whole development would be connected again with a cycle track that runs down Vine Street and connects to the cycle track on 4th Street and would run all the way to the riverfront. So we begin to create a connected downtown with the complete streets. So public space improvements, transformative idea number 4. And then I want to pass the torch to Kelly Quartz, who's going to talk to us about some more early wins.
Thanks, Kevin. You know, once in a while, city government sometimes takes some hits for acquiring property. And sometimes it's difficult to understand why a city would pay a particular amount of money for an empty parcel of land or for a piece of land and then tear down something that's on it. Well, the gateway parcel that Jessica talked about between 3rd and 5th Street, the city recognized that. We recognized that as a key parcel in the downtown area that at some point would be useful for redevelopment. And just like the parcel that you're on right here, where the city still owns 3/4 of this block, this is where we're talking about developing living units and that linear park. We don't own the parcel just north of us, so that's a private property. But the reason the city acquires those properties is because at some point, those will be very valuable to the city. The only way you can redevelop property is to control it. The only way you control it is to own it. So that's the reason that cities acquire properties like that. That's the reason why we acquired these 2 key pieces. And we're going to be bringing to the Redevelopment Commission very soon a request for proposal for this 3/4 of a parcel here, 3/4 of a block, to do just that with new living units. We're going to do that request for proposal around mixed use, multifamily housing that we think we will be able to parlay our regional cities money that was awarded us by the state this year into some of that development on this block. But this was a key piece of development, the Gateway property. Both of these are key pieces of development. The only way you can develop it is to own it. You have to acquire it before you can own it. So that is the secret to redevelopment and property in a downtown and urban environment. So I'm going to turn this back over to Brad. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm not. That's what happens when you don't have your script. I'm going to introduce someone who's very dear to our community and dear to me personally, my good friend Bob Jones, who's president of Old National Bank, and Holly Ghostman and Tara Riggs, who are MPA students with the University of Southern Indiana. I like to keep college students in DMD, and I think of them as no-cost consultants every year. They do DMD every year. So, Mr. Jones.
So, before you hear from the no-cost consultants, you got to hear from the cost consultants again. This handout, the community handbook for city building on the front of this is not some gimmicky consultant thing that we came up with. This is something that really emerged from our work here in Evansville. Rarely, and I've been doing this a long time. I've been doing this about 30 years. We've worked in almost 200 cities. Rarely have I seen a city mobilize for its downtown like we have here in Evansville. So the community handbook for city building. What that means is we've really designed this plan to try to provide multiple avenues for a variety of folks to get involved in revitalizing downtown Evansville. So whether it's Jessica, who is making that decision whether to stay here or not, 20-something and wants to make her life here, or Bob, who's CEO of the largest bank in town. We want to provide a variety of avenues for folks to be involved. So the back page of your handout is where the rubber hits the road on a lot of these ideas and how this can actually happen. We're proposing two things here. One is we're proposing something called the Evansville Downtown Alliance. This would be what's called a downtown management organization. It's a private sector initiated organization that works with the city and works with other partners to actually get things done. You have tried this before in Evansville. You've tried downtown organizations, but this would be something different. This would be a much more highly sophisticated, professionally run organization that really aims to achieve a variety, in fact, all of the different items that you see in the plan. And then the funding for this, the second item on the back page, something called an economic improvement district would be key to making this work. The economic improvement district, what that is, that's a source of financing. EIDs are common in downtowns all over the country. There are more than 1,000 of them. Fort Wayne has this, Louisville has this, Cincinnati has this. What an EID is when the business community, the property owners in the business community decide that they're going to go ahead and assess themselves and reinvest that money in downtown. And that's what we're proposing for Evansville, is that the property owners and the business owners consider pitching in to an improvement fund that year after year after year would continue to champion these ideas and also leverage other sources of money to make these things happen, plus be a reliable partner with the city so that year after year after year, we're focused on downtown improvement. So the individuals, Bob Jones, and also the unpaid consultants, they all have experience with this EID concept, and they're briefly going to talk about it.
I'm quite sure that my shareholders will be thrilled to know that I'm an unpaid consultant. I must admit, as I was sitting here getting ready for my remarks, and I heard liquor license, we're going to be able to get more liquor license, we've got eclectic areas, we've got cycle tracks, and all these wonderful things. By the way, Bob, get up and talk about money. So I apologize for the boredom. And you'll notice I don't get an idea either. I'm not idea number 5, I'm just here. But as Brad said, it is critical. As you think about great communities, they really are a product of strong public-private partnerships. You've heard a lot from the mayor, you've heard from Kelly, you've heard from Randy, all talking about what the city is going to do for downtown, which is really the heart and soul of any community. The city and the government cannot do it themselves. They need a strong partnership with the private sector, many of you that are represented in this room. The strength of that combination, the intersection of that public-private sector, is really at the core foundation of any great community. And that is what I'm here to talk about. You think about what Brad said about the Economic Improvement District, and he asked me to come up and speak about it for really a couple of reasons. One, Old National is proud to be the largest property owner in downtown Evansville. So as you think about an assessment, a fee, we clearly are putting our money where our mouth is by us leading this effort. Secondly, in a prior life, I was in Cleveland, Ohio, which did exactly this. And many of you may know the history of Cleveland. Not exactly the most sterling as you think about the river that burns and all the other things that happen in Cleveland. And I won't begin to talk about the Browns, but that's a whole other subject. Cleveland put a bid, as it's called in Ohio, Economic Improvement District, in place in the early 90s when I was in Cleveland and part of downtown Cleveland, Inc. As you think about what it's done, I spent a lot of time in Cleveland last summer, what they've seen is housing units since 2011, after the bid was put in place, of 1,700 units fully leased up or purchased. Today, there are 2,300 more units on the drawing board in downtown Cleveland. More importantly, you've seen similar growth in retail, hospitality, and office space. And downtown Cleveland has seen a significant drop in crime. So you think of all the serious crimes in Cleveland in general, downtown Cleveland only contributes 4% of those serious crimes because of what the Economic Improvement District has done. But while all these quantitative facts are so impressive, what's probably more impressive is the pride that Cleveland developed by having this economic improvement, by having this intersection of the public and private sector coming together in a common vision, as you've seen in these 4 ideas and more, working together in partnership to make it a greater city. You've seen the rebirth and the rebuilding of downtown's public square, which is the heart and soul of downtown Cleveland. You've seen a brand new convention center, a brand new medical mart. And all of this leads to, and this may not be the most important thing in the world, especially this year, I'm not sure they want it, but as you all know, the Republican convention is going to be in Cleveland in July. It seemed like a really good idea when they announced it. Sorry, Mayor. But I think that just points to the pride that you can get when you get this intersection I've spoken about. And again, it can't just be the mayor and Missy and everybody else contributing. The private sector has to step up with dollars, with volunteer leadership, with enthusiasm and commitment. And I think that's what's going to make this so successful. You know, it's great to talk about a large city like Cleveland, where you have a lot of large corporations and a lot of opportunity. But this same type of partnership, this same type of economic improvement happens in similar cities to Evansville. And here to speak about Dayton, Ohio, are Holly and Tara, the other 2 unpaid interns.
Hello, my name's Tara Riggs, and I'm Holly Gossman, and we are Master of Public Administration students at the University of Southern Indiana. We are currently completing our final capstone seminar for our graduate degree with Dr. Matthew Henke, who is the MPA program director. We've been given the opportunity to work with the Downtown Alliance to collect research from 6 other cities who are similar in size to Evansville in regards to their housing development and their economic or business improvement districts. We're analyzing that information of what is working best in those cities and how, in regards to their downtown development, that we can apply that to Evansville.
And now for some evidence from a successful economic improvement district, also called a business improvement district. We want to look at Dayton, Ohio. And back in 1999, when they were drafting their city plan, the city of Dayton selected improving downtown housing and amenities as one of their strategies to improve the economic health of the city for the new millennium. And the Downtown Dayton Partnership is an economic improvement district that has played a major role in revitalizing the downtown area. And they were originally established by a group of local CEOs who were concerned about the decline of the downtown area following a regional strategic planning process in 1995. The district is funded by tax revenue from a special improvement district tax district, and they play a very active role in promoting not just business interests for the area, but also improving the downtown neighborhood in general. They really try to create a better environment. Year-round, they work on the landscaping, they plant flowers and trees, and they've really tried to make the downtown area more pedestrian-friendly. Back in 2006, they got a federal downtown walkability enhancement grant, and that was matched by some donations from other local groups and agencies. And a big part of their goal of making downtown better is their ambassadors program. And these ambassadors are employees who work downtown. Some of them walk, some of them are on bikes. And they do things like collecting trash, removing graffiti, and they also report issues or safety concerns to the police. In more recent times, housing has been a major focus area in their new 2016 to 2020 strategic plan. One of their goals is to promote downtown as a unique neighborhood with a variety of living options for everyone. And in the future, they want to raise awareness through PR efforts in relevant local publications and media outlets. And they also want to coordinate events for the public that showcase downtown housing options. They also want to serve as a resource for property developers to help promote residential developments. One of the things that they already do is they keep inventory of available housing units, and they have a section on their website dedicated to that so that people can find those resources. And they also want to collect data about the area that might be beneficial for developers. And finally, they want to work with partners to identify housing reuse strategies for existing buildings. They want to work with the city of Dayton and other partners to develop strategies for these targeted buildings. And they also want to help connect property owners with the resources and potential developers to make these projects happen.
A few points on the current housing stock in Dayton, Ohio. There is a variety of new construction, older buildings, and renovated historic buildings available. There is mixed-use buildings for residential and commercial properties, like the NoCo district maybe, along with some specialized housing for seniors. There is currently 227 condo units and 17 new townhouses under construction. There's also 1,063 apartment units currently. Some points on taxes in Montgomery County, Ohio has a relatively high average effective property tax of 2.112%. The real estate market in Dayton has generally been poor in the recent years, and many homes have lost considerable value. Though the downtown area is one of the only areas that has a growing housing market, and the homes are increasing in value. The price of a home in downtown Dayton is approximately $104,000, and the median home price for the city as a whole is $68,000. Real estate market for condos downtown is very competitive, with many of the units selling prior to their construction being completed. City of Dayton has an additional 2.25% income tax above federal and state income tax, which creates potential additional tax revenue for the area by attracting people from the suburbs to the downtown. Montgomery County has an additional 1% sales tax in addition to the state sales tax, which also potentially is a tax revenue for the downtown housing to draw people from neighboring communities.
Thank you. So at this point, we were going to take questions and all that, but it's hot. A lot of you have been standing up. So we're all going to stick around afterwards. I'm going to ask the mayor to come up and close the session because it really feels like it's a great time to find a downtown establishment with a very, nice cold beverage. And speaking of beverages, Kelly did whisper in my ear that if anybody wants to open their dining and drinking establishment, to learn about the liquor license, quick win, talk to Lana in his office. But Mayor, could you please help us close today?
Well, I think the thing that jazzes me the most about this plan is that it's not just the city plan, but it's the city's plan. It truly is reflective of the 1,500 plus people that participated in the process. And that's very, very critical. Very happy that you all turned out tonight on a warm, beautiful evening in downtown. Just a reminder from what Josh mentioned earlier, the plan is now live on the city's website as well as the chamber's website. And a number of us will be hanging around for as long as people would like to come out and ask questions. Thanks for being here, and thanks for your interest in a really vibrant downtown.